Alright, what we saying? We good, yeah?
Yeah!
You know that. We good, yeah? So, my name is Rohan, aka Poetree, aka the guy that made this lady sing for no damn reason. And I'm just really happy to be here. Like, I got my family in the room over there, with my cousins over there. I got my missus over there. I got my friends everywhere. My boys from like school days are here. Like, you know what I'm saying? School days. Like, it's just bare love in the room. So I'm gonna give you guys a few poems. Some of them are new, so they're not really in the top of the head.
New shit.
And then some other ones are like in the top of my head. So, and I'm gonna end on one that kind of brought me to the stage. It's one of this guy's favorite ones right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. All right. So this first one, I was trying to understand who I was. I was trying to understand my name. My father named me, and I found out what my name meant. So this piece is called My Meaning.
Hey.
Fans.
Okay, sorry.
My name is Poetree. My government name is chipped under the documents of my oppressors, but you see, my father, he named me Rohan. And he knew that I would fall into my meaning, embrace my being. My name means ascending light. That was real. But for years, I was considered a fallen star because my world came crashing down as a teen. I should have learned to be a kid before I learned to be a man. Wait, I'm not going to try to Milky Way the situation. I'm just saying it's more difficult for you to find your bright light when you feel like you're living in a black hole. It took me decades to understand my rising purpose. And I only ever listened to people that told me to keep my feet to the ground, 10 toes to the earth. They were the ones that were stepping on my toes in order to climb. Because I didn't understand the steps that I needed in order to climb through life. It's ironic though. The ones that step on your toes are the ones that know your true elevation. They're too cowardly to join you. Shit. They'd rather destroy you. Because they know that your ascending light brings sunshine to their midnight. Each footprint I take on these Croydon streets is a scripture written in concrete. You see, I didn't believe that I was concrete evidence. But as I stand here today, trust me when I tell you I am evident.
Yes, you are.
Evidence that a star is not meant to shine as soon as it's formed. It takes time and nurture to realize how bright you need to shine, because the message you portray is the one that will counteract the darkness around you. Understanding that darkness is the first step. Don't think because the moon swallows the dark night that the sun will never rise again. You see, all of you here, your light is ascending. And I'm fully embracing my name's meaning, and trust me when I stand here, I will fucking tell you that I'm mean. I will constantly keep rising until I spread my message of light across every plane of sky and rain down positivity that can nurture unhealed minds and storm the streets of disbelief and show them the winds of hope and drown every tsunami of hatred that has been made to fortify these streets. You see, I told you I'm ascending.
Ascending light. Say it one more time, please.
I will constantly keep rising until I spread my message of light across every plane of sky and rain down positivity that can nurture unhealed minds and storm the streets of disbelief and show them the winds of hope and drop every tsunami of hatred that has been made to fortify these streets. You see, I told you, I'm ascending. Everything that is of life is of purpose. Food sprouts from the ground and fruits sprout from the ground of trees, and life is contracted and pushed into the light, and the moon and the sun both rise to guide the earth in their respective ways, and and we all want to rise higher tomorrow from where we are today. You see, I realize now that even Biggie believed that the sky is not the limit. That's why he never sang no book. And he can't actually sing. That's a whole other story. So every day when I ascend, I will send messages to each cloud to let them know that I'm on my way. Until my universe is my ground. And higher realms become my sky. And even at that moment, I will still be of the mindset that I'm not done.
Yeah.
Because I'm ascending light. Yeah. My government name is chipped on the documents of my oppressors. You see, my father, he named me Rohan. And even though my eyesight wasn't clear, he knew I'd fall into my meaning, embrace my being. My name is poetree. So this one is like, I think I wrote it like 3 days ago or some shit like that. And it's about growth. And like, I feel like I've grown a lot in my life. Like a lot of people that are here that have come on the stage and just in general, like they've also grown. So I decided that I was going to speak about my growth, but also speak about it in the sense of those that feel that they're stagnant, those that feel that they're not really moving through life, that hopefully this will inspire them. So this piece is called Growth. I solemnly swear that I will never go back to the old days where I had the old waves. I'm parting my seas different. I need to say that again, that's a bargain. Say it again. I solemnly swear that I will never go back to the old days where I had the old waves. I'm parting my seas different. I've learned that growth is not just something solely associated with testosterone and estrogen. Growth is deeper than the deepest roots of a tree that touches the soul of the earth. Growth is not an instrument that you can play, but it's melodic melodies will create meditative memories that will mimic elevation. Now, I wasn't just wrestling when I told you I was rock bottom. Being stone cold was just a stone's throw. I felt the warmth of the... No, I wasn't just wrestling when I told you I was rock bottom. Being stone cold was a stone throw. I felt the warmth of the dirt from the earth, and that was my blanket. You see, I was blank. It seemed that the ground was where I should lay. That undertakers weren't just friends, they were graves where my bed was made. I don't take that literally. I'm only metaphorically speaking. My number was solo, not one. I was solo, wait. That's one. So it's understandable that loneliness became a cover. Mask on, no future. Earphones strapped in, listening to Future. Wondering why my present isn't so gifted. My treasure trove looks like a grave. But old me didn't know what a gift was. You see, back then I was living in a domino state of back then. I didn't see the present being handed to me, therefore there was nothing in my chest. Bronchitis, breathing, coughing, wheezing. I didn't know how to sign us into all of these feelings. So I had to sit with the person I hated, myself. Do you know how hard it is to sit next to someone that you fucking hate? Even if it's yourself. Talking to yourself with disgust because you already know the answers that follow. Grow up, get bigger, fuck staying grounded. If you could rise off from the ground, growth isn't just physical, it encompasses all around you for you to reach your version of success. And smile for yourself instead of for the sake of others. I solemnly swear that those days are behind me. I hit every bullet point on my past hit list. Now I'm checking off the present that leads to my future checklist. I've stitched together trifectas to affect the destiny that was forced upon me, so pity has no hold on my growth because I hold the controller. That feeling of removed. That feeling of self-worth improved. And I'm growing into my growth and seeing the fruits of my labor, pollen of my purpose, the flowers of my future. And trust me when I tell you, blossoming has never felt so sweet. Because I don't need a grave to receive flowers. I know my growth is an eternal spark, and sparks that lighten, that's an unbeatable flame. And trust me when I tell you, some people in my days have had to try to beat my flame. I look a little bit charred. But who do you think is the one that got scorched? Growth is the power that I hold within myself to rise from the dirt. Growth is an immeasurable force. Even after my death, my soul energy will be reused. Growth is what I am. I've straightened my soul, and we call that spirit level. Became more harmonious with life around, developed feelings of inner powers, because my growth will always allow me to reach success. Walk on roads that burn my feet but harden my soul. My growth, well, it's starting to align. And how perfect is that fucking alignment? So this next one, I'm a big movie fan. Like a big movie fan. I actually watched a free movie with my missus and friends the other day in Westfield, right? And one of my favorite films, well, I don't even think it's a film no more, is The Matrix. And I wrote a poem about the Matrix because for me personally it resembles life. So this one's kind of deep. This one's gonna make you think. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions in this one, so y'all got a real pay attention to this. This piece is called Unplugged Thoughts. I'm gonna try and think of it off the head of it. I love you, man. I swear to God. The Matrix isn't a film. It's a documentary. The Matrix isn't a film. It's a documentary. So let me document these thoughts and see how much this movie flick resembles reality's tales. We're caught up in the system. Would you take the red pill or the blue pill? For that Labour red or Tory blue? For every red Indian's blood stained on the American red, white and blue, or for every blue collar worker that's put to work to dirty their hands whilst the Union Jacks another piece of the check to keep us in check. Are your brains tangled in a void where some kisses are sunken and you don't know how far the rabbit hole goes? Alice has been assassinated because she knows too much, so you're tumbling, falling, downloading into a system that has labeled your design as incompatible. As if you've colored outside the lines, or your color resides outside the line, and every line of code that's coded into the line strings us along on puppet strings, marrying that to the marionette man that plays man for puppets. Ever had that feeling if you're awake or dreaming? How many frequencies are frequently being absent from your internal computer where your processor doesn't process but protests against the frequency hurts because the frequency hurts. All that hurt doesn't mean you feel pain.
Right.
The reaction was on. Against the frequency hurts because the frequency hurts. You know them 3-minute poems that turn into like 12 minutes? You see, all that pain doesn't mean you can't get hurt. And that doesn't mean you can't feel hurt. I lost it.
No, you got it. At the frequency. Sorry.
I got it. It's reality, what is it? It's conscious versus subconscious, reality versus hypnosis, and there are more people in this world that are asleep than you could ever dream of. If real is what you can feel. They're really simply electrical signals interpreted by our brainwaves. They say we only use 10% of our brain. So what if I adopt the Lucy method and start to apply more brain function?
Yes.
I'm not saying I'll be able to stop time. but I can definitely stop the absorption of lies and enter a matrix realm where I may tricks the realm and decode the roads of codes, the rows of rows of hope. They show they give no control for you to hold, to roll your boat. Don't stay afloat, hold down the download. Look deeper than the front cover. And a simulator system simulator that tries to create a false sense of stimulation. You see, no one can tell you what the matrix is, but knowledge of truth brings you closer to being.
Wait.
They don't want you to tell the truth, you know.
Sorry, that was a glitch. Knowledge of truth brings you closer to being alive. Like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It's the questions that drive us. It's the questions that brought you here. The questions, there are only answers where you can find oracles in Odyssey. Because to believe in everything you're told is to let others row your boat. With no control over the steering. You're not steering out of control, you're steering into the control of a system that has designed to keep you categorized, because what do all men with power want? More power. The first 7 years, your brain is lower than consciousness. You're a sponge, absorbing all that's around you, your parents, siblings, communities, and transforming the conformity of those foundations into your memory banks. You see, your brain vibrates on theta, where you can morph the world like Morpheus. You're more alive then than you are now. Because the imagination of a child is realer than the reality of an adult. Is that freedom?
You got this.
Take 3 pills.
How many rules do you need to function in society? Are you advancing the Agent Smith to be the common in community? Understanding your significance is a danger to conformists. Did it even occur to you why the agent is a Smith? You see, Smith is the most commonly used surname binding individuals together, so that individual isn't visible when they visualize you as a person. They would rather you multiply under one format that ticks a box when you tick the box on every form that checks you off the checklist. That's another form of control. Is there bliss in ignorance? Turning a blind eye doesn't make anything stop. It merely shows that you stop looking at what's around you. How much does the mind need to unlock? And how far outside the box do you need to think in order to be free? You see, I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. Can you mind map that? Can your legs walk solo? You see, the man has been playing machine all along. Or are we so plugged into the matrix that our DNA reads as cold green, but we're seen as cold red? Because our cells are being locked within a virtual cell, or being displayed in squares that are locked within TV boxes. You see, their sentiment isn't sentient, they're meant to entrap you. That's entrapment. Where the machine will make you more machine-like until the hue in your humanity will be dimmed until dull.
Come on.
Becomes vital. What does it mean to bring war against the machine? Where Guns N' Roses bring about a Black Sabbath after Foo Fighters. You see, we have to bang, 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 back at every bang clap to legally. We purchase flowers for those that have gone too soon. Flowers don't bring back the dead. They only resemble the dead that lay in boxes while we walk around in white rooms that are filled with TV screens. You see, Big Brother is watching you. I know you're there, I can feel you now. I have CC'd every truth into this poem for every CCTV that tries to capture my moment and data drive my mind and unquestionable compliance. You see, I don't compute, I neo the matrix and decoded the Holy Trinity to bring you a monk-like frequency. I'm linked to my EM pulse. Because to deny our own impulses is to deny the very thing that makes us human. What's really gonna fuck with your head later on is Would you still have had these thoughts if I hadn't recited this poem? Perhaps I'm asking the wrong questions. Thank you. Alright, I've got one more poem, and then what's one of the backside? So I've got this one poem. This poem actually, this was the first poem I ever performed on BYOB. When we had the lockdown, it was online. I was dressed in a nice little t-shirt, nothing underneath. You can't see that on the TV screen. And there was a bar in there that I got my first wheel up, like in the world. I felt like Retro 82 when he did the thing with Bambino. He gave me a mad wheel up. And yeah, I just want to end on this piece because it was kind of the first piece where I thought, rah, like, I'm actually a poet. So,
and you now know that.
Right.
And you know
You
it.
better speak.
so this piece is called Who Wants Some Bread?
Yeah!
Okay, this piece is called Who Wants Some Bread?
Okay, their phones out.
Bear cops. Cops.
I can't believe that.
I'm going to take you on a culinary tale
Yes, you are.
where bread can be seen as bread. But in this bakery, we don't weigh ingredients, we only have economies to scale. You see, I'm a street corner hustler, chef inherited rustler, cooking dough, potentially could inspire a different type of customer. It was surely hard though to only be seen in one perspective. There's no retrospective. I had to reevaluate my options because like a personality disorder, I was split, only seen in slices. They can't imagine my life in different colors, so they're quick to portray me in brown or white. Rather see me straitjacketed in plastic. There's no room to breathe, so if I go green, I'm immediately discarded amongst the social classes. A waste man for the waste bins. I've been stamped and dated, and the only way to prolong this business is to freeze my assets, bag them up, and ready the production when it's just in time. One, that.
Bone that. Bring it back.
Do that again.
One, that. The streets are nothing but hot stone ovens. Are you ready to bake? Are you ready to eat? I've learned my trade. I fucked up my ingredients time and time again. My scales are so weighed down to the point that all I know is pounds is my unit of measure. Mentally, I can never let the phone catch up with me. I'm made for redundancy by my inner self. The cause was external. My mind bagelled at the thought of, wait. I'm not gonna sit here and pit on myself. I'm no longer seeing myself as mundane plain. I'm a self-raising agent. Like carbon and soda. I've baked past the fact you still see the street boy. Those preheated stairs don't have me turning 180 degrees. I'm not going back to that sourdough. I want that sweet bun. Positively extract the negatives till my carbolic has me fist pumping that way. Wait. I'm gluten free, huh? You see, you would have said I was a street corner hustler. I would have said I was a street corner entrepreneur.
Hey.
Same taste, but the feeling's different. So that pretzel twist in your mind for a while. I realize I'm a late bloomer. I mean, I've always needed dough, but never understood the legalities of making bread. Do you know how many times I've stood in this kitchen, looking at these utensils ready to fry man's dumpling? Mind drained of flavor like rye bread. Subconscious thinking never transitioned into conscious planning. The mixing bowl never held the dream properly, it was a colander. So the business strategy was holy. Like collection plates passed around to shallow pockets, those offered ingredients were only suitable for flatbread. It's funny though, none of my people even thought I could make bread. So I upped the heat. I may look child on the outside, but the inside is wholesome. I develop my life like my business, so my belly and my bread will always roll. So when the man then scream, "Cheap butter!" Life's game is all I'm thinking. Baking bread after bread after bread after bread after bread. That's life's ambition. There's no need to have that biscuit on the side. We chefing bread like a main course meal. So the bread business has expanded my mind to the reaches of entrepreneurship. I'm serving my life on a baking tray. I'm on stick. No grease needed. The fallbacks and pitfalls of my empire won't have my emotions seeded. It takes time and patience to butter one's bread. It'll come. Dust my shoulders off. I may have to Alan Sugar the top for effect, but like I said, my day will come. Because I'm bulky enough to develop a strong work rate, a strong backing that came in a force like croutons. They, like me, they've been refried and redeveloped. They are my day one partners from the time we pump a nickel into the business, and now we can make a toast to success. And how successful it is to know that life's plans and business plans can intertwine. You see, I may be West London born, but I'm South London bred. Big up Freddie, real talk. But I'm South London bred. Never have I let the streets nor society bred me into the case of their bullshit. I'm not a product of my environment. My product, like my personality, is served warm and wholesome. I won't leave an unthinkable trace behind your taste. We don't make garlic bread. I simply took the street inspiration and made it legitimate, because the streets ain't nothing but a fictitious Disney fairy tale that have you believing in bread being a concept that can only be made in wicked circumstances. You see, I took your emotions of making bread and I turned it into making bread. Hence why my bakery is only the freshest and purest of ingredients. We don't cut corners. This corner boy strengthened to become the cornerstone and expanded past all your corners. You see that street life isn't a business. It's a pyramid scheme, making you believe in a dream of a dream of a dream. Yo, Neil, did you watch Inception? Oh, man. You see, my bakery is my business that helped me stay out of your business. So when I mind my business, just know that my service always comes with a smile. BYOB. Let's break bread and eat. Thank you.